I've wanted this couch for over a year. I didn't really see it that much on social media. Now I have, but have not a single review. So I'm making it because this is everything you need to know before you purchase. First and foremost, let's get an overview of what the Teddy sofa claims to be, because then we can fairly assess whether it meets those expectations. If you aren't familiar with it, this is the Teddy sofa by Omhu, founded in Denmark. So it is available overseas, but is also carried by a US retailer in New York. Founders of this company, they thrifted vintage furniture and took what they loved from that experience to develop the Teddy. I promise this is relevant later. In their own words, the Teddy sofa is a simple design that never compromises on either quality or function. In a corduroy fabric that's available in a variety of different colors and is held together with chrome-plated metal bars. It's not just your couch, but your sofa bed, and it's the perfect solution no matter what room you place it in. Which brings me to my first point. The Teddy sofa isn't a sofa. It's a sofa bed. The most important distinction is that this is, first and foremost, a bed. Why do I say that? It's because it is made of 2 mattresses. It has no legs, handles, and it transforms into a large double bed. So if you're considering this as an option for your living room because you just need a couch, consider, do you want to sit on a mattress or do you want sofa cushions? Which brings me to my second point. The mattresses are of high quality cold foam and relatively hard, so that they are both good to sit and sleep on. Did you hear that? In this paragraph is a very specific adjective. Hard. So with that, I hopped on a train, took another train, and sat on it myself. And I encourage you to do the same. If that isn't an option for you though, I'd recommend going to a mattress store and seeing if they have any cold foam that you can sit on to try out. To which, in my opinion, it is not relatively anything. It is, in fact, hard. But don't freak out, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean that the foam has no give, because it does. What it means specifically is that it's going to spring right back. It actually keeps your Teddy in shape. Because this is literally 2 mattresses stacked on top of each other, it has to be firm. Otherwise, it would just sink. And I think that can be likened to the cloud sofa. It was everywhere and everyone loved it for its comfortability, but complained about the lack of form once it was lived in. It loses quite a bit of its visual appeal because it constantly looks like you just forgot to make your bed, but POV, your bed is in the middle of your living room. Although the slipcovers on the Teddy do a similar thing, it's something that can be maintained. Because instead of fluffing, all you have to do is smooth. If you do a lot of moving around and rustling or the heat of your body is just kind of causing some separation and creasing, that's also easily resolved by just washing them. I've owned mine since late December of 2023, so it's been about 5 months. And the shape, it's perfect. There's no sinking. So then the question becomes, do you even like a firm mattress? Depending on your answer, that will determine whether or not you find the Teddy comfortable. The bar situation. These don't have much of a function in terms of they will move. That could be because I don't have my sofa on a rug and this floor is very slippery. And having good posture, well, listen, sometimes I don't. And I just lean back into the cushions, of which this is the result. This is from many hours of editing on the couch. However, when I don't do that, like on the sides, significantly reduced, but they do move. So my attempt at a solution was to put those little, what are they called, bumpers, so that I can put a little bit more pressure. It was working until the adhesive was not. So I think glue will be the final solution. And update, actually after the filming and editing of this video, I have now noticed that in my inbox, I received an email pointing out the fact that they are aware of this issue and therefore are offering additional attachments. Seeing as I'm reading this today, a whole month later, I don't have it, but when I do get it, I'll be sure to update either the description box or pin it to the top of the comments. Cushions are very comfortable to lounge in. You see all that surface area up there? Not only is it really comfortable to rest your arms up here, you could fit your whole head. The angle cushions contain shredded foam surrounded by an inner fabric sleeve, making the outer fabric easy to zip off. Given that the material is shredded and therefore more aerated, still springs back into shape well. Because the cushions are lower, I can't fully recline, basically forced to have better posture. Pretty much all contemporary sofas have low backs, so we're probably used to that, but it would be nice to have an option. But I'm not giving it too much hate because I know that, again, there is some vintage influence. I know this particularly because I almost bought that version. I came across this vintage sofa, but it needed to be reupholstered, and ultimately it was way more expensive than this one. And speaking of upholstery, teddy is wrapped in corduroy fabric. If like me, when you hear the word corduroy, this is what comes to mind, let me just reassure you that this is not that. Unlike a pair of corduroys, it's made of poly and it's actually quite lightweight, and when you wash it, it's not heavy. Also, I let mine air dry. I believe the care instructions said that you can put it on a low tumble, but I didn't, because ain't no way I'm buying another one. I did get some fraying, but I'll give it that it was the first wash. But for the price, serging the edges is an added detail that I would not only appreciate, but expect, because this is designed to be removed and washed regularly. Again, while I don't mind the shifting fabric, which as you can see has kind of gone off its linear path, it's because the top cushion is coming forward. This could be my fault, because most of the time I'm not using my Velcro. I thought that it was something that you only needed when you were laying the mattress flat, but perhaps I should be utilizing them when they're also stacked together. But in order to do that, I think that the mattresses would have to be stacked right side out, wrong sides together. So if I were to follow that configuration, then the Velcro strips would be exposed. But I don't see that advertised on their social media, because ultimately the instructions that come with this are vague. Case in point, Exhibit A. Although this is what came with my teddy, I kind of disregarded it. I read it and went, okay, and then just pulled up their Instagram because what? Step 1 just tells you to place a mattress on top of the other one, but it doesn't give you any indication about the orientation. And also, this metal bar section, the pads that they're referring to, I didn't get. I also specifically got questions about whether it is pet friendly, and I imagine it would be since it is washable. But as far as shedding, I can't really speak to it because I also have a teddy and he has hair. And if you have a cat, I don't think they'd be tempted to use it as a scratching post because it's not a solid structure. I assume they'd just see it as a giant glorified pillow.
50,000 times 2 is 100,000 squirrels, and I've peed on 10 trees, so 10 times 2, 20 squirrels.
If you did have to replace the slip covers, that is an option. You can buy them individually. However, it's a lot. So should the color of this ever change, understand I will be making my own. While we're at it, let's just go ahead and put that on the list. Like, do you want to pay this price? The answer is always no. We don't want to pay the price of sofas. So I'm not really going to talk about worth because that is also subjective. At the end of the day, we don't pay for worth, we pay for convenience. Can you make a sofa? They've done the work that you didn't want to or couldn't, which means the only question at hand is, do you want to pay it? Then once you pay it, how long will you get a return on that investment? So full overview: cute convertible sofa bed, multi-use. It changes with your mood. If you feel like being horizontal for the beginning, middle, and end of the day, you're covered. Or sit up and do all of the normal things. The material is washable. Also, this comes in 21 colors, so you've got options. And last but not least, it's lightweight enough to move around your apartment when you want to switch up your layout, to move to clean your space, or for when you actually want to move out. I've tried to look at it objectively because that's just the way life is. With the good can also come some opposition. And with that said, everything I like about this sofa, I really like. But those things can and should be met with a little bit of criticism. So I've tried to give you an idea of the things that you also may not like about it or should foresee so that you can make an informed decision. I hope it helped. If it did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask.